Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Braniff, you previously served as Director of the Center for Prevention Programs and Partnerships, or CP3 at DHS, an initiative created under the Biden administration to take a comprehensive approach to combating domestic violent extremism. CP3 prioritized public and community health programming to identify people before they commit acts of violence in coordination with federal, state, and local law enforcement. In your experience, how have these investments in public health led to identifying at-risk individuals and stopping violent acts before they occur?
Thank you, Senator. I'm actually perhaps the one person who has something to offer in terms of solutions today, and I'm really excited to talk about that. At CP3, we learned from the violence prevention community, the same people who for 30 to 40 years have been studying suicide prevention and violence against children prevention, intimate partner violence prevention. And we started to apply those methods and that evidence to targeted violence prevention, to try to prevent terrorism, hate crime, school shootings. And the great thing about this approach is that it's upstream, right? Violence is a universal human phenomenon. It just manifests differently. When someone starts to struggle, they might go answer seeking online, and they might fall down one rabbit hole, or they might fall down another rabbit hole. And after time, if whatever underlying crisis goes unaddressed, they might decide that violence is a solution to their problems.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we've heard allegations from both sides of the table as to whether there's more violence on the right, more violence on the left. What I hear you saying is that certain persons are predisposed toward...
No, Senator. Actually, thank you for the question. All of us have vulnerabilities, and if those vulnerabilities go unaddressed, we could wind up being manipulated into engaging in violent extremism. We did 1,172 interventions. Think about that, 1,172 interventions for individuals who were exhibiting risks of violence. They were making veiled threats of violence. They were socially isolated. And those interventions were across the ideological spectrum. Some people were flirting with white supremacy. Some people were flirting with anti-government extremism. Some people were just flirting with violence for violence sake. The point is, we didn't wait until something terrible happened and then blame the ideology behind it. We actually did a therapeutic intervention, and in 94% of those interventions, the individual got help, and there was no violence. In 6%, they had made a threat to public safety that was imminent, or they had crossed a criminal threshold, and they were referred to law enforcement. So we supported those individuals, averted nearly 1,200 potential acts of violence, and never sacrificed public safety. We have a solution that's cost-effective, that does not violate civil rights, civil liberties, and protects our Constitution, and I would encourage us to look at that as a potential solution.
As you know, the Trump administration significantly cut the staff at CP3, which you worked with, which led to your resignation. Is that true?
Senator, there is no more office at all. The entire thing was dismantled on the final two people left on September 11th and 12th.
So the prevention effort you're describing to us is now no longer funded?
That is correct.
Are you concerned about the potential rise in attacks that we may see without similar level of inquiries taking place under this administration?
Senator, I've given my life to protecting the American people. I'm incredibly worried about the rise of targeted violence and terrorism across the ideological spectrum at the same time that we've dismantled the very apparatus that can prevent it. And we've seen 150% increase in fatalities from terrorism last year to this year. We've seen about a 70% increase in terrorist incidents from last year to this year. We've seen an increase of violence across the board, and I would encourage us to think about investing in prevention going forward because I know that it works.
An ounce of prevention, as they say.
Yes, Senator.
Well, I think that's an important lesson for us to take. The Republican members of this committee believe they're right. The Democrats believe they're right. The American people want to see less violence. I hope we all want to see less violence. This is one agency with an agenda directed toward reaching that goal, and unfortunately, it's virtually been shut down. If we're sincere about this on a bipartisan basis, let's do something to revive that effort. I yield.
Thank you.